Okay, so in our continuing videos about financial math, this one is about annuities. And the word annuity is another fancy financial term, but it just means that you're being paid out or you're withdrawing money out of your own savings or out of your own, source of income. So for example, you inherited some money, you won the lottery, you've been saving for retirement, anything like that where you have a chunk of money and then you're making a plan to pay yourself or withdraw money out of it on a regular basis, that would be under the umbrella of annuities. So we have a few more details here, but I'm going to skip ahead to our two basic practice problems. Practice number 12 says find the maximum annuity payment. So right away, maximum payment is like the payment amount. I know that's going to be my PMT. So I'm going to write the word solve there so I can keep track of, why I don't have anything else in that spot. It can be received monthly. So the difference between amortization, which is what we practiced originally, which was taking out a loan and then paying back that loan, in that case, the payments were going to the bank. With annuities, the idea here is that the money is ours money, our savings of some kind, and we are now receiving each of the payments. So the payments are coming to us. So if we're receiving something monthly, then that thing that we're receiving is actually the payment amount that we're solving for, and monthly means that there are 12 of those per year. It's 20 years, so if I do my 20 years times 12 payments per year, that gives me 240 payments that I will be receiving. And then the investment was $750,000. So I'm going to first write my $750,000. And then I'm going to go back and think about should that be positive or negative. So if we think back to our basics, positive is always me, my pocket, my paycheck. Negative is the bank. And for principal value, the sign communicates the starting location of that money. So in the starting amount, I've invested it, which means it's located in some bank or financial institution. So I'm actually going to list it as negative, even though, ironically, this is money that I've saved up. The interest rate is 3.5%, and it's compounded quarterly, which would mean 4 times a year. So it's compounded 4 times per year. The default is always that the payment happens at the end of the pay period, so in this case, at the end of the month. And they don't say anything about final value, but they are saying that I'm taking the maximum annuity payment. So I'm taking out as much as I can each month, which means I'm assuming if this is the most I could take out, then when I'm done, I have nothing left. So I'm assuming that my final value here is going to be 0. So I have to solve for that on my calculator. So let me pull that out. I have some variables in here already. I'm just going to clear the RAM so I can reset with basics. I can do that anytime. So I've got 20 years times 12 payments a year is 240 payments. 3.5%, negative 750,000. It's important that I'm using the negative button and not the minus button here. Otherwise, it will really confuse my calculator. I've got 12, and I want to point out here that when I hit enter or the down arrow, when I enter in 12, the calculator likes to make these two variables match automatically, but that is not the case here. So now I have to type in my 4 and double check that they're both separate still. Then I'm going to go back to my payment spot and hit alpha enter to get solve. I've got my black box, so that tells me this is for this problem. So I've got 43445.783686. This is listed as positive, which helps me know that I've done the problem correctly because payment sign says where the money is being sent. And positive would be it's being sent to me, my pocket, my paycheck. I'm the one receiving it. So that makes sense. If it's my savings, then the money should be sent to me each month. So I'm going to then just round this to the nearest penny. $4,345.78 per month is my final answer there. Okay. And then let's do practice number 13. Wasim invests $1,340,000 at a fixed annual rate of 4% compounded annually. What annuity can he draw if he expects to draw it annually for 30 years? So again, here they're asking for the annuity. And if you haven't already done this with some of these videos, I suggest pausing, trying it yourself, and then checking in. But the annuity is the payment amount that I'm receiving. So once again here, solving for the payment amount. Maybe I'll make that a little different in the future, but it doesn't hurt to practice the vocabulary here. He invested $1,340,000. And again, principal value is the starting location. He's investing it, I assume, in some sort of stock or bank. So that means it's going to be a negative location. The rate is 4%, which is compounded annually, meaning once per year. He expects to draw his annuity annually as well. So he's going to receive that payment once a year. By default, it would be at the end of the year. It says nothing about the final value, so I'm assuming if he can only do it for 30 years, it's because after that maybe he ran out, so that's going to be a 0. And my 30 years is going to help me calculate the number of payments. So 30 years with 1 payment per year is actually just 30 payments. So once again, I'm going to go into my calculator. Got 30, 4%, negative 1,340,000. Go down here, oops, hit 1 for both of these. And then I solve. Black box says I'm good to go. It's a positive number, which again makes sense because this money should be coming to me each year. In this problem, that's what annuity means. So what annuity can he draw or can he receive? It would be $77,492.33 per year, which maybe this is his retirement account or it's an investment of some kind because he could probably live off that. Hopefully this helps so we can try a few on your own.